You know what? Consistency is the secret to success. But what no one other than me will tell you is that consistency does not mean constant. It actually means rhythm. When you find your calm marketing rhythm, you create momentum without burnout. And that's when sales start to flow. Hi, I'm Narelle Todd from Get My Book Out There, and I help fiction authors build calm systems that make marketing sustainable, simple, and stress free. Today, we'll talk about how to find your calm marketing rhythm, a simple, sustainable way to stay consistent, visible, and confident in your author business. So, let me share with you about how I discovered this difference between constant and rhythm when it comes to your marketing system. So, what I had noticed in working with authors is that there are some authors who will turn up and they'll be hot. And by that, I mean they post regularly, they're always there, they're on as many channels as they possibly can be. And then they'll go cold, or in other words, they'll go silent. So there's like this burst of activity, and then it's followed by silence. Burst of activity, silence. So there's a real inconsistency around their sharing on social media platforms and other places. So, what happens when you discover a rhythm, though, is that you get to align tasks with your energy, not with obligation. So, typically, what we're told is that we should post regularly. And by that, we think that means we need to turn up every day. We need to post once, twice, 3 times, 5 times a day, depending on what it is. What then happens if that's not your natural style is that you'll start to build resentment, you'll start to find ways to procrastinate. So you may find that you're putting out lots of posts, but that soon dies away because you're posting from a sense of obligation rather than an understanding that part of your role as an author is to share your characters and your books with everybody. Writing is definitely part of it, but also sharing your finished manuscript, sharing that world with other people is part of what you do. Now, it also depends on your energy. So each one of us has our own unique style and way of doing things. Some may be extroverts and they may appear to have all the energy in the world, and they actually find that their energy is supplemented whenever they're out sharing and interacting with other people. For a lot of authors who are introverts, it's the exact opposite. Their energy is actually depleted the more they're out there engaging with other people. And you can actually see some authors just physically drain because the energy is being sucked out of them because that's not their natural style. So they need to take time off to go away and recharge. And they typically do that on their own or with a select few people. So there's this sense of obligation, oh, I need to post. And then there's the actual reality of knowing yourself well enough to know that you have an innate sense of rhythm that works for you. And that's what I want you to tap into. So, yes, consistency is the secret to your success, but it doesn't mean constancy. It actually means rhythm. And I want you to find that rhythm. So let's have a look at a bit of the problem. You're told you need to post daily, and in reality, for many authors, they can't actually sustain that cycle of visibility because they need to rest. So the problem then is that most authors will operate in burnout loops, not from a sense of balance. So they'll actually throw everything into it, lots of activity, and then they go away. So we get this backwards and forwards sort of thing happening. What then happens is we feel a sense of overwhelm, there's guilt, you get inconsistent in all sorts of things, even your writing, and your marketing feels like an obligation rather than simply an extension of your creativity. I mean, you have created these amazing worlds and now you get to talk about them. You get to talk about your characters, you get to talk about the worlds, what happens with people who are actually interested in them. It's not just you now and your world that you've created. It's now you and others who also love your worlds and your characters. What then happens is you start to lose joy. There's a sense of trust in yourself that you begin to wonder, am I actually made to be an author? Can I actually carry this off? And there's also that connection with readers, which starts to be impacted when you're not showing up with a natural rhythm. So the guilt of not doing enough, if you've ever heard yourself say that to yourself, I'm just not doing enough, that actually keeps you stuck in this stop-start mode. So one of the first things I want you to do is stop saying that to yourself. You are doing enough, and we're going to get you into a rhythm where you will be able to appreciate that. Okay, so I want to introduce you to the Calm Marketing Rhythm. So this is part of my Get My Book Out There marketing system. And what it does is allows you to find a rhythm, still show up with regularity. Doesn't always mean daily though, even though that's sort of what we've all been told is the thing that we should be doing. So I give you frameworks. There's a 90-day social media calendar that I have for you that is easy to fill out and easy to do. So when you use the calendar, you get to use my 5 R's, which is all about the rhythm. And it allows you to tap into things like relationships, your rhythm, sharing of yourself as much as you would like to, but it's also sharing your books, asking for the sale, but it's also building a connection with readers who love your stories just as much as you do. So what this does is it gives you the focus and the visibility that you need. And it also has rest in there because that's so important to find and maintain your energy so that you can keep this going. Being an author is a long race. It's a journey that you're going to be on for a long time. It's not necessarily something that's short term. So you need to have systems in place, mechanisms in place, and you also need to manage your own self. You need to understand your own energy so that you can create systems that work for you and your energy. So for some authors, that may mean showing up daily. For others, that may mean that they show up 3 times a week on social media. But it's the fact that they show up on a regular rhythm, that's what readers will respond to, rather than you sort of showing up for, say, a couple of weeks and then you disappear again. That creates a sense of distrust in readers. Whereas if they know you're going to be there on a Monday and a Thursday and a Saturday, they're fine with that. They know what days to come and have a look at your content. So this is where you get to use your natural rhythm to help you create a marketing system that works for you. So this is where you create the marketing system to fit in with you and your personality, rather than you trying to twist and contort yourself into fitting a marketing system. So it's a bit like the round peg in a square hole, that sort of thing. It's not going to work. But if you are creating a system that works for you rather than the other way around, then yes, it will. You will be able to turn up at your natural rhythm at a time and a place that suits you and that you can manage long term so that you are able to do this with consistency. Consistency can actually feel easy. It doesn't have to be a slog. Consistency in your marketing really means that you have adapted your marketing to suit your energy, to suit your genre, to suit your business model. All of these things come into play in creating your system. It's all based on who you are, on your personality, and on your natural rhythm and energy cycles. What you're going to be looking forward to is reliable growth without exhaustion, and you're going to have emotional steadiness because your creativity is going to be flowing again. I want you to show up, share, sell, and rest without guilt or stress. Calm marketing rhythm isn't about doing less. It's actually about doing what matters most. And that's looking after yourself. That's creating systems that work for you so that you can then do what you do naturally. You can write great stories and you can then go out and market them, and you can keep that going so that you are always there with your readers. You are always there writing. You're doing all the things that you want to do in your business, and you're not burning yourself out. So next week, I'll show you how to turn your rhythm into a repeatable flywheel that keeps your books visible all year.